Hey guys, so finals are coming in hot and we gotta get it together. As part of that, I kind of wanted to talk about something a lot of you guys have been asking me about, which is how I manage my time at med school. So hopefully this will be helpful to you guys. Time for me is definitely really precious. It's something where once you spend it, you can't get it back. It's not like money where you can just earn it back. The time that you have on this earth is the time that you have in this earth, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So that sentiment has really stuck with me during my whole journey through med school. And I want to share with you guys what I've learned along the way. At the end of this, I'll be talking how I'm planning to structure my timetable for this exam season. And if you guys have been seeing my studying for 1,000 hours video, then you'll know that things this year, they're gonna be different. They're gonna be different. So stick around if you guys want to see a new and improved approach. If you guys are new here, my name's Alfie and I'm a 5th year med student studying in London. And with that out the way, let's jump into the video. So when it comes to thinking about how to manage your time, you need to think about what takes up your time. So you really need to think about what are your priorities in life. For me, in no particular order, that's going to be med school, YouTube, working out, seeing friends and family, and having some downtime. When you've worked out your priorities in life, you can then think about how much time you want to allocate to each thing. For example, I can say the most important thing in my life right now is finishing med school and becoming a doctor. My family definitely had to sacrifice quite a lot to get me here. And if you guys have seen my video on how much med school actually costs, then you'll know that med school ain't cheap at all. So in a sense, I've got to make that worthwhile. My other priorities are things like this channel where I spend time to write up scripts, to shoot videos, to edit videos, and then to come up with thumbnails. And so that takes up a chunk of time. But for me, I really love making videos and I know I'm going to be making videos for a long time. So investing some time is something which I want to do so that I can get better at making videos. For working out, I really enjoy exercising. And as someone who grew up really skinny, and I'm still quite skinny, I really wanted to bulk up. Now that gyms are back open, I've been going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, and it's been good to be able to keep that in my routine. The next thing is spending time with friends and family, and obviously right now I'm in the UK, most of my family's in Hong Kong, so unfortunately I don't get to see my family face to face, but I can still keep up with them through text, through phone calls and things like that. Now that everything's kind of opened back up, I've definitely made sure that I could see my friends outside and do things with them, because you can work as hard as you want on yourself, but I believe that at the end of the day, it's the people that you surround yourself with and the experiences that you have that you're really going to remember when all said and done. So that's why spending time to develop these relationships with your family, with your friends is really important. And finally, having some downtime for me, which right now looks like anime and watching dog videos. This really good channel on YouTube called Mocha Milk, where there's a Pomeranian and a Samoyed, which I think are super cute. And so just being able to have some time to just do something which isn't related to work or to making videos and things like that, just sitting back and enjoying that is something which is super important as well. And on that note, I really want a dog soon as well, so hopefully that's in the pipeline. Now, with all these different priorities, you need to try and work out how much time you want to spend on each thing. If you neglect one thing, it's definitely going to show. For example, if I was to neglect med school and I showed up to placement, I definitely would be really confused when a consultant asked me, what's this, what's that? I just wouldn't know what's going on. And for example, if I neglected working out, then the goals of having that summer bod are gone. Whatever it is, if you're trying to get better at something, you need to spend time on it. It's as simple as that. All right, the next thing to do is you need to put that all into a timetable or some sort of schedule. I'm lazy and I just use Apple Calendar. Anything works. You could use Google Calendar or yeah, really anything. I do this because I know that if I write something down, there's something there to keep me accountable. If not, I would probably just start my day and go at it quite cluelessly and do quite random tasks and not really feel like I've done much by the end of the day. So the night before, maybe a week before, I try and plan out what days I'm doing what, and I like to personally plan to the hour, but I know that for some people that might be too detailed, and instead a good alternative is to have a list of tasks that you want to do each day and make sure that you work through those tasks. When it comes to the actual day, there's 2 apps which I find really useful at keeping me on track, and the first is Horo, which is this simple timekeeper stopwatch thing. I prefer having it on my desktop so that I can just have the time there without being distracted to go on my phone to use the timer. If you are someone who can handle temptation and use your phone, then there's a really good app called Session, which has this really nice sort of simple academic aesthetic to it, and you can create activities and keep track of the activities and how long you're spending on each one through this app as well. Before we go on with the rest of the video, I just want to quickly tell you about another thing that's really helped me save time in medical school, and I think will be really helpful to you guys as well with everything being moved online. So if you're like me and you end up opening 100 tabs for all the different things that you think you need to have open, then you'll really enjoy using Identity. Identity is a desktop app that aims to declutter the internet by helping you be more efficient and thoughtful with the way you use the internet. So you can get started by opening any browser that you like. I personally like using Chrome, and then opening Identity and organizing all the links that you use on a daily basis into one place. So for example, I've organized all the stuff for med school into one place. I have my notes on Notion, I have the guidelines here with the nice clinical guidelines, and I have some question banks like past med. That way, when I have a study session, I can just open up all the links in one place instead of having to type every single link one by one. The great thing is that they've also integrated Google Calendar and a to-do list straight into the app. And this is great for me because this means I don't need to have another tab or another window to keep track of what I'm doing. So if you guys would like to try Identity for yourself, then feel free to click the link in the description box below. And thank you to Identity for sponsoring the video and supporting the channel. And now let's move on to the next tip. So the next thing to do is to try your timetable and make adjustments as you go. Because realistically, what you've set out probably isn't going to be a perfect balance straight from the get-go. And a really important thing at trying to find that balance is listening to how your body feels. This is definitely something which I think I've kind of neglected back when I was in high school. In high school, I felt like I could do anything that I kind of set my mind to. And I guess it's kind of good mindset to have when you're younger, but you also need to be realistic with your time. So in high school, I was in the cross-country team, the athletic team. I was helping to organize the fair. I was a school prefect. I was doing a bunch of things. So you can imagine the responsibilities in that kind of pile up. And for running, I was training 4 to 5 times a week, which meant that I think I was pretty fast by the end of it, but I wasn't doing a good job at listening to my body and dialing things back. And I think that kind of led me to kind of burn out when I was applying to med school in year 13. Now that I'm a couple years older, hopefully a little bit wiser, I try my best to listen to my body. So if there's a day and I just feel like crap, then I'll try and adjust the things that I'm doing that day. With exams coming up soon, I need to start planning my revision schedule. Last year when I was in lockdown, I had a schedule that looked like this. I would work from about 8 till 12, have lunch for an hour, work from 1 till 6, have dinner for an hour, and work from 7 till 10. And in total, that was 12 hours. So if you guys have seen my studying for 1,000 hours, then you guys would have seen how that sort of study routine panned out. And if you watched that video, you would have seen that I realized that I probably am never gonna do that kind of routine again. I think the only thing that really enabled that was because I was in lockdown, there was nowhere else to be, you couldn't do anything else, so I was like, I may as well throw myself at this. But now that I kind of learned from that experience, I wanna try and make some small adjustments to my exam schedule. I wanna try and get up, have some breakfast, and then I want to work till lunch. But this time I want to have a lunch that is not an hour, but an hour and a half, so a little bit longer. And then I want to go back to work. And then I want to make sure that I can work out for hopefully an hour every day at the gym, and then come back, have some dinner for, again, an hour and a half instead of just an hour, and then work for a little bit more, have some time to relax, and then give myself some time to actually get into bed and probably switch off. The biggest things I want to change is make sure that I have longer breaks during meal times and at the end of the day, and to try and work in exercise. I think exercise is one of those things which I throw out as soon as exams get started, but this year I want to try and include them in because I know how much better my body feels when I do work out, and I know how much better my energy levels are when I do work out. And I think the reason for this sort of change is if you listen to the 12-hour routine that I had, you could kind of tell that by the end of it, it just felt a bit excessive and I was kind of burnt out and I wasn't really happy with the way that I was working. So this year, I want to be able to still include the things that really do make me happy. I still want to put obviously med school at the forefront, but there are other things which are important as well, like my mental health, like my own physical health, and also spending time with friends and my own downtime. After talking through all of that, I kind of wanted to end on this idea, which is if you clicked into this video, you probably wanted to see how I manage my time, and you probably watch other videos for how other people manage their time, and you want to try learn how you can try and make your own schedule more productive, more efficient. But I think the most important thing about time management isn't about being more productive or efficient. It's about, number one, understanding what's important to you in your life, and number two, being thoughtful with your time so that you can actually spend time doing the things that are important to you. No one is efficient 100% of the time. We all need to take rest. We all need to sleep. It's not just go, go, go all the time. So if you're stressing out over feeling that you're not productive enough, not efficient enough, I'd say try your best to shift the mindset from that to something where you can think about how can I be more thoughtful with how I spend my time instead. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you guys found that useful. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until then, I'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.